Would you have guessed that this painting is made by a famous artist? Well, it was. His name was Pablo Picasso. And I bet we could make one just about like that. Wouldn't it be kind of fun to make one just like a professional artist did? Let's see what we can do. We're going to make ours out of construction paper, and here's the one I made, and now I'm going to show you how. Alright, you're going to start with a piece of brown paper and lay your hand on it so that part of your arm is there too. And you've done your hand before, I think, so this should be familiar, but you trace around every finger, going down one finger and up the next finger and down and up and around and down and up, and you go all the way down to the edge of the paper so that what you have left is your hand and part of your arm. Okay, now we're going to cut it out, and you might have your own way of cutting things out that works for you. I'll show you the way that works for me. I'm cutting out this much, and then I'm going to cut off this much, and I'm going to cut off this much. I still have paper between the fingers, but that paper is easy to cut out. See what I do? I don't even have to really turn my scissors. I start from the outside and I cut down till the line stops. And then I do that on the other side too. It's kind of like cutting in a V, because between your fingers is like a V, isn't it? So I cut in and cut down until the line stops. And I do that with all of them. And pretty soon I have all my fingers cut out, and it was really easy to do. It might work for you too. I bet it will. Right now I want to put my hand on the paper with the arm kind of running off the paper, right at the edge of the paper like this, and the thumb pointing up like that. See, there's a thumb and there's the fingers. And then I'm going to bend all of the fingers up, and I'm going to bend the thumb in too, and it's going to be a fist for holding on to something. Okay. Alright, now when I go to glue it, I turn it over, and see how much glue I use? I've got some space between each dot of glue I make, because I don't need a whole, like, really tight trail of glue dots. Alright, I didn't glue the fingers. Okay, now I turn it back over, and I press it down, and my fingers are still standing up, aren't they? Alright, now I'm going to cut some stems. So I've got some paper, and to cut a stem all I have to do is cut a straight line. And I bet you know how to do that, don't you? Cut a straight line. Start at one end and just make a beeline right down to the other end until you've cut a strip, like I'm doing right now, like you can see me do here. And pretty soon I'm going to have 3 stems too. Okay, now I want to arrange them in my hand so that the stems really stick up above the fingers, and so that they're spread out so that I can put some flowers on them, like that. But I have to glue them down one at a time because they overlap each other. And so I've got my glue bottle, and I'm putting my dots up the stem, but kind of far apart. They're not even very big dots. I turn it around and I lay it in the hand like that. Press it down. And then I take my other one, and that one needs to fit in. I have to turn it in the other direction because it's not going to fit in really good that way. Like that. And see, then I still have room for my flowers. And so I'm going to glue that one down the same way. And I'm going to glue down all 3 of the stems. I'm going to use a square to make the flower, and I'm going to start by drawing a line right around the edge of the square all the way around. You'll see what I'm doing with it in a minute. Okay, you can see my line. Okay, now I need to turn it over, and then I fold it and the line shows on the outside, like that. Okay, see the line? It still shows. And then I fold it again, like that, and press it down good, and you can still see where the line shows and where the line doesn't show. Okay, Now the reason the line is there is to show you where to cut, because the sides with a line are the sides that you're going to cut into, but the sides that do not have the line are the sides that say, no, no, don't cut me. All right? But you're going to cut in to the sides that have the line. And when you open it up, if you didn't cut on the sides with no line, it'll stay together. And you have a shape like that you can make a flower out of. Okay, watch this again. All right, remember, you take your crayon and you draw a line right around the edge of the square. Okay, because that's going to show you where you can cut without making the flower fall apart. Right around the edge of the square, okay? Like that. And then turn it over and then fold it. When you fold it, if it's turned over, the line will show after you fold it. Then turn it and fold it again. Okay. And see, you have the line. That's where you cut. That's where you don't cut because there's no line. Okay. Now try cutting into these sides. Try some other kinds of cuts. You can try some curved ones, or you could try some, straighter ones, or whatever you think might work. But just don't cut on the sides that don't have the line so that your flower stays together. Okay, and I open it up and I have something like that. Well, now if I put the two together, it's going to look more like a flower, and that might not be a bad idea. I'm going to use these two together. I put one dot in the middle of the square, press it down on the stem. Then I'm going to take my other piece that I made that I'm going to use on this flower and make sure I can get it laying the way I want it to make it look like a pretty flower. Put one dot in the middle of the flower and then put this one on top like that, and there I have one. I just need a middle now, don't I? Okay, I have a little circle that I cut out of some scraps, and I'm going to put some glue smack dab in the middle of the flower, just one dot, and I'm going to put my circle there, and there's one flower. I used two for that flower. You don't have to do that for every flower. Well, here's another way to do it. You can start with a square again and draw your line around the outside of the square again, right on the edge. Remember, close to the edge as you can get it. Okay, now turn it over. And now this time, you're going to fold it to make a triangle. See, like that. And then you're going to turn it around and fold it one more time to make a smaller triangle. Crease it. Now if you look, you can see where the mark is, where the line is, and that's the only place you cut. You don't cut where there's no line. And you can cut in and make straight cuts and curved cuts and different kinds of cuts. And this will be a little bit different than the ones that we folded the other way. Okay, let's see what it's going to look like now. Okay, open it up. And I've got something that looks like that. Well, I can use that for a flower too. This one I might just use by itself. Or you could even color in them too if you wanted to. But it does have to have a middle, so I'm going to cut a middle for it. Okay, fold your paper in half like this and crease it really, really good. And then open it up like a tent. You can see the crease right there. Start at the crease, make a big round path, and end down here at the crease. Now fold it back up and hold it in your hand and cut on the line. And when you open it, you should have a leaf that's symmetrical, like that. And we can put like 3 dots in. We can go end, end, middle. That's all the dots of glue we need. And glue it right on there. Let's go through that again. Fold your paper in half, crease it really good, open it up, you'll see the crease, and then start at the crease, make a big round path, end at the crease, fold your paper back up again, cut only on your big round path, not on the fold or anything else. When you open it, you'll have a leaf. So now you should know how to make a leaf that's symmetrical, and you can make a lot of different leaves, small and large, and put them on your flower stems.